Day of the month of Elul. It is Erev Shabbos Kodesh, and we are on our way to towards the end of the year. The last Shabbos of the year is coming up, and we are learning Maseches Pesachim, Daf Lamed Beis Amud Aleph. Yes, I think. Send the link here. Hold on one second. There we go. We are holding by the Mishnah at the bottom. Let me open it up here. There we go. We are holding by the Mishnah at the bottom of Lamed Aleph Amud Beis. Just reviewing the Mishnah very, very briefly. We learned it yesterday. To review it once again, it says the Mishnah as follows: Ha'ochel trumas chametz Pesach. The person ate truma, which is chametz, on Pesach. So you're violated two Yisuri Kares. If a person did this unintentionally, Mishalim Keren v'chamish, he's going to pay the Keren, which is the value of the truma, v'chamish, and he's also going to be obligated to pay the additional fifth for taking something from kedusha. B'meizid, if he did it intentionally, patim mitashlumim, is going to be exempt from paying whatsoever, umid me'etzim, as well as from the value of the truma to be used as fuel, meaning both from the truma aspect of it, from the eating, and the other usage that you might have with grain. Says the Gemara as follows: we have a Mishnah as follows: if a person in general eats truma unintentionally, he has to pay the keren and the chamish, both the principal value and the additional fifth. Whether somebody is eating or drinking, turning over the page to Lamed Beis Amud Aleph, eating, drinking, or anointing yourself. Whether it be truma tameh or truma tahora. In all of these cases, mishalim chamish, you're going to pay the fifth. And maybe even a fifth of a fifth. What's a fifth of a fifth? Rashi points out here, truma, because the tashlumim that you paid for, meaning you paid for it, that tashlumim now also has a din of kachim, and im chazva achal b'shoigig oiseh chamish rishon chazva mishalim chum shay alav. And if a person were to then eat the chamish, that the additional fifth that they set aside, so a person ate X amount of grain, so then they of truma, so now you have to set up X amount plus an additional fifth. That has the din of kachim at that point in time. It belongs to the kohen. It has the din of kachim. And if a person were to eat that, the additional fifth, you have a chamish on the chamish. You could even have such a thing. Says the Gemara as follows: they asked, when he pays back, does he pay according to the quantity, the volume of what he ate, or or the value of what he ate? So what exactly is this machlokes, and what are the nafkaminas here? Says the Gemara as follows: let's say that it was worth arba zuzim, it was worth 4 zuzim, that which you ate. But now the price of grain has gone down. Now it's worth only 1 zuz. That's not even a question. Because obviously you have to pay back the 4 zuzim worth of truma that you ate. According to the value. Because it's certainly not worse than a gazlan. And the halacha is with regards to a thief. Ditnan, the Mishnah tells us, all of the gazlanim pay back the value as the time of the theft. Markets go up, markets go down. If a person stole something and then used it, destroyed it, now needs to owe back that item. If they don't have the item, they then pay back the value of the item at the point in time of theft. Kiti bailach, where's this going to be a question? Where in the beginning it was only worth 1 zuz. The market went up. The truma market, the grain market, is now much more expensive. There's a scarcity of grain. Now it's worth a lot more. What's the din in such a case? Does he pay according to the measure? Meaning, I ate this quantity of truma, so I will pay back this quantity. The Amalei could say, Gvira achal, Gvira mishalim. I ate griva. Griva achal, I ate a griva, which is a measure. So I should pay back a griva, right? I'm going to pay back what I ate. Or Dilma, alternatively, you could say Bezuzah achal, I ate a zuz worth. Bezuzah mishalim, I will pay back a zuz worth. Amar Rav Yosef says, Tashma, come in here. We have a brisa that will support this. What I mean, it'll answer the question. Achal Gregorus, if a person ate truma figs, v'shilema loy tamarim, and then paid back the kohen, paid the kohen back in tamarim, in dates. Taval of bracha, that's a you should get gebench for that. Meaning he's paying back taval of bracha. That's a good thing. Says the Gemara. You want to say, it's reasonable to say, Lefi Mida Mishalim, that he has to pay back in accordance with the measure, the quantity of what he ate. For that reason, Taval of Bracha. That's why you should have a bracha. Meaning, if it's a question of quantity, you ate X grams of dried figs, and then you paid back X grams of dates, so that's a better product for the same amount of grams, and therefore Taval of Bracha. The Achal Griva, the Gregorus, Vishavia Zuz, Griva de Tamarim, Vishavia Arba, because he ate a quantity of figs that's worth 1 zuz. Now he pays back the same quantity in dates that are worth 4 zuzim. That's a lot more. Ela I Amar, but if you say Lefi Damim Mishalim, that he's going to pay back Lefi Damim, that he has to pay back the value, I might have a bracha. What's the bracha there? Bezuzah Achal, he ate a zuz. Bezuzah Kamishalim, and he paid back a zuz. Meaning, so it doesn't make a difference what the product is. Amar Abai says no. This is not necessarily a clinching proof. Why? You could say that you pay back always Lefi Damim in accordance with the monetary value. Why is he benched? Why does he get a bracha for doing this? Because he's eating something that he ate something that people are not that is not such a hot commodity in the markets. I mean, people don't jump to buy it. People sit on their dried dates for a long time. And what is he paying back? Something that could be easily exchanged for money. Meaning, it is the same value, but there is an additional value. Taval of bracha is there's an amorphous value that he is adding here, which is it's an intangible. It's the same amount of money that he is giving back, but this is now a product that is easily fungible. So that's why Taval of bracha, and that's why maybe this is not a proof in either direction. Says the Gemara as follows: Tanan, we learned in the Mishnah, ha'oichel trumas chametz bepesach. If a person ate trumas chametz on Pesach, obviously not a kain, b'shogeg. If he did it unintentionally, mishalim keren v'chomish, he has to pay both the keren and the chomish, the principal and the additional fifth. And if you are going to make the argument that he pays back lefi mida in accordance with the measure shopper, that makes sense. Meaning he ate X amount of chametz on Pesach, which is also, and he's going to pay back X amount of X quantity of chametz after Pesach. Lefi damim mishalim says, but if you're going to say lefi damim mishalim, that he has to pay back the value. So what's the value of chametz and Pesach? So Gemara, chametz and Pesach bar damimu. Is chametz and Pesach anything that is worth any money? So what do you mean keren v'chomish? That's 0 and 0. There's no keren, there's no chomish. Says the Gemara, in that, yeah, it does have value. Mani, whose opinion is this in the Mishnah? Rabbi Yossi Aglili, it is the opinion of Rabbi Yossi Aglili, as we have learned before. The Amar Rabbi Yossi Aglili holds chametz b'Pesach mutar b'hana, that you are allowed to derive benefit from chametz on Pesach. You are simply not allowed to derive benefit from chametz on the first day of Pesach during the time of the Karban Pesach. If this is so, Ema Sefer, then the end of the Mishnah that says b'mezid. What happens if you end b'mezid? Pater min tashlumin, you are exempt from tashlumin. Or midmei eitzim, and from the value of the eitzim, meaning from even using it to burn. Rabbi Yossi Aglili, if you are holding like Rabbi Yossi Aglili, amai pater min tashlumim. Why would you be pater from tashlumim? Why would you be pater from paying if you ate it b'mezid? Midmei eitzim, and from the value of the eitzim. Says the Gemara, because he holds like the opinion of Rabbi Nechuni ben Akana. The Tanya, Rabbi Nechuni ben Akana, because like we learned before, Rabbi Nechuni ben Akana held that Yom Kippur is like Shabbos with regards to Tashlumim, and we held Kimmel Rabbi, meaning once you get encouraged, then you don't need to pay. Once you get kares, then you don't need to pay, and that's why if you're eating a b'meis, you'd be chayv kares, and therefore there is no keren, there's no chamish, there's no payment because there is kares. Okay, ketana, and this discussion of whether the payment should be made in accordance with the midah or in accordance with the damim, the quantity or the value, that is a machlokes tanaim, says the Gemara. What is the machlokes tanaim? So we are going to see two lengthy brises that are very similar. Says the Gemara as follows: if you ate trumas chametz on Pesach, part of binat tashlumim, you are exempt from pay. That would be umid me etzim, and as well as from the value of the fuel. Rabbi Akiva, this is the opinion of Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri mechayev. Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri is going to be mechayev you. He's going to say that you are liable to pay. Amar loy Rabbi Akiva Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri. Rabbi Akiva says back to Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, "V'chi mahana yesh ba." What is the hana? What's the value of this chametz and Pesach? Amar Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri. Rabbi Akiva says Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri back to Rabbi Akiva, "Umahana yesh la'oichel trumat tameh." Answering the question with a question: what is the value of trumat tameh that a person would eat the rest of the year? There is no value to it. That trumat tameh, the only thing you can do with it is burn it. But you still have to pay. Clearly, truma that a person eats, even if it has no value, you still have to pay. Amalai says to him, "Lai, that's not true. If you're talking about truma tameh the rest of the year, even though you cannot get any heter achili, you cannot eat it. There's no possibility of eating it the whole year round. Yesh loy ba heter hasaka. You are allowed to burn it. That is absolutely permissible. You're allowed to get hana from burning it. Term vazeh, I mean the kohen is allowed to get hana from burning it. Term vazeh, you would say about this with regards to the chametz, which is truma on Pesach, truma which is chametz on Pesach. Term ba bazeh she'ein loy ba loy heter achila v'loy heter asaka. You cannot get any benefit from it, says Rabbi Akiva. Not from eating and not from burning it. There's no permissibility of getting any benefit at all. What would you be better of comparing this to Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri? L'trumas tutim v'anavim, to the truma of tutim and anavim, the truma of strawberries and grapes. That became tamei. There's nothing that you can do with it. Meaning, strawberries and grapes are basically just water. You can't use it as fuel. So there's no benefit in burning it. Meaning you can't do anything. You can't do anything with it. It's juice. What are we talking about? This whole discussion is only if a person was making matzah on Pesach and you were mafresh truma, you took off truma from the dough, then it became chametz. But if you separated truma once it became chametz already, meaning you made dough, it became chametz, and now you took off truma, there's no kedusha to speak about there because it doesn't have a value to start with. Even according to Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Yossi clearly, this is and that's important to know. Even according to Rabbi Yossi clearly, he would also say that there's no kedusha in that because it doesn't have a heter achila. So Tani, we have another brisa. Just one point good to point out. Truma tameh bisman hazeh is we still take off trumas and maseches. That is still true. We take off trumas and maseches today. That's anybody that's in Eretz Yisrael takes off trumas and maseches, and the trumas and maseches today are not able to be used for anything, except with one exception that every year the kibbutz Yavne across the road from Kerem Yavne would give truma tameh, meaning they would give olive oil. That because they made olives and pickles, they would make olive oil, and they would give truma of that olive oil to Rabbi Rubenstein, who's the one of the poskim, who's the poskim of Kerem Yavne, he's a kohen, and he would distribute that olive oil to be used by the kohanim in Kerem Yavneh to use for Hadlakas Neres Chanukah, because there is no hana whatsoever, because you're not allowed to use it. Meaning there's no hana at all that you're allowed to have it. So there's the kohanim are tamei and the truma is tamei, and the only thing you can do with it is burn it. You can't get hana from that burning, because the kohen is tamei and the truma is tamei. Nevertheless, you can use it for Chanukah candles. So that's kedai din to know that such a halacha still exists. Okay, Tanya Idach. We have another brisa. The brisa says as follows: "V'nasan l'kohenes hakodesh," that you have to give the things that are kodesh to the kohen. Dav haroli is kodesh, anything that has the ability to be kodesh. Prat, what's the exception? La'ochel trumas chametz b'Pesach. Anybody that is this is going to exclude somebody that is eating trumas chametz on Pesach, that does not get given to the kohen. Shepater min hatashlim, that you exempt from paying for that. Meaning, if there's truma tmeah, that truma that became chametz on Pesach, so pater min hatashlimim, because that cannot be given to the kohen. Umid me itzim, and also from the value of it as fuel. Div Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov. This is the opinion of Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov. Rabbi Elazar ben Rabbi Elazar chisma mechayiv, but Rabbi Elazar chisma is mechayiv you. He says that you do have to pay. Amalei Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov Rabbi Elazar chisma, says Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov to Rabbi Elazar chisma. V'chima hana yesh lo ba. What is the hana that you can get out of this? Amalei Rabbi Elazar chisma Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov v'chima hana yesh lo eichel trumat tamei b'shayim ma'aser shana. Same argument that we saw from Rabbi Kiva and Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri before. What is the benefit that you get from trumat tamei the rest of the year, where you still have to pay shemishalim? Amalo, he says to him, look, that's not true. Yeah, the rest of the year, the trumat tamei, you can't eat, but you can burn it. You can get benefit from burning it. You should say about this, you can't get any benefit from it, because there is an isur of hana bichlal. There's no heter achila, there's no heter hasaka. You can't get any benefit from burning it. Amarla, he says, yesh ba heter hasaka. No, this does have heter hasaka. She'im rotza kohen, if the kohen wanted, meritza lifnei kalba, he could throw it in front of his dog, give it to his dog, or use it as fuel under his under an item that was already cooked. Meaning, says Rashi, what did the kohen lose out from this trumat tamei? You can't do it. You can't use anything. Nahi nami deleis lach ha drasha miu ma yishalim hoil ve'ein leidam. So he says I don't have such a drasha, but it doesn't have any monetary value. Meaning, it doesn't have a heter achila, and you don't have the ability to do anything with it. So what's the argument back? And this is a new chiddush here, that if the kohen wanted, he could give it to his dog. Meritza livnei kalba, meaning he could use it to make his dog run, not feed it to the dog. That would be hana, but he could use it as a thing to make his dog run after him. Or he could use it if the tavshil is already cooked. So there's no hana there. So you could use it to keep it warm. That would not be hana. That apparently would be something outside of the realm of what we would refer to as hana. And Be'ez Hashem Yisbarach, we will continue with Lamed Beis, Amud Beis, tomorrow Shabbos Kodesh, and tomorrow Matzah Shabbos, we'll do a recording of that as well. Everybody should have a beautiful Shabbos. Be'ez Hashem Yisbarach. We will see you tomorrow or tomorrow night.